Welcome. This is a different door than you're used to seeing, but welcome back to the Trey 5 Customs YouTube channel. It is the end of July, so we missed basically all of July with videos. So this will be your July only video.
We had one at the beginning of July.
Oh, do we? Oh, I don't remember that. It's been so long. Did you miss me? I missed you.
We've been on a lot of vacations.
You've been on a lot of vacations. I haven't been gone during the weekdays, only on the weekends. This will just be in the middle somewhere. Won't be the beginning. Okay? Got that? Wow, we got an oil leak under that one. But we got this is Brian Main's truck. This is a truck that came to us already with an LS swap and some of the stuff done already. But we did like wheels and tires and some bare brakes and did all the suspension on it. So he just brought it back, give it a look over. It's been a little while. I don't know how many miles he's put on this thing. Well, it doesn't matter because we didn't do the gauges. So I won't know how many miles he's put on it since we did all the suspension and brakes. But he's been driving it for a while and wanted us to check it out. So brought it in, put it on the lift, spent a couple hours on it, and now it's all ready to go. So we're moving this out, bringing another one in. All right, Brandon's truck's out, so now we're gonna bring in, or Brian's truck's out, now we're gonna bring in Brandon's, check over a couple things on that. But while we're waiting for Pyle to pull that in, let's look at Preston's OBS. It's a Pace truck, Roadster Shop chassis, LSA, so supercharged. Everything's done, wrapped up as far as getting it running. We're got the dash back in. You can see in the dash we did some cool things. So we actually built an aluminum ductwork piece that connects to the factory duct. So we have all of our factory ducting going to the Resto Mod Air. We put the factory equalizer back in it just for looks, but then we've got a retro sound radio. So we made a little plate that goes right underneath the radio that has the Resto Mod Air controls that just pop out and turn. So looks almost factory in there. Preston wanted this to look as factory as possible. So we did Dakota these little gauges, but they're like the factory looking gauges. And all the light switches, the whatever cargo light, fog lights, everything works off the factory switches, even though the whole truck's completely rewired. Just do one of these Super Start batteries. This is from O'Reilly's. So the nice thing about this is it's really high cranking amps, really high reserves, and it's an AGM, and it's got a killer warranty. So if we send this truck over to Havasu, where Preston lives, we don't have to worry about warrantying it. He can pull that out and warranty it himself. We made the killer little bolt-in battery mount, so you can undo the two bolts, slide that out, and the battery will slide right out. Pacos powder, white chassis, MagnaFlow exhaust that we built here, AccuAir, Vire compressors. The biggest thing that we're going to try to do with this is we're going to try to get the factory carpet back in it too, because this is only a 13,000 mile truck. So maybe when we see you in 2 weeks, this will be running and driving and out of here. But I told you on Instagram we'd fire it up for you, so let's fire it up. Still needs a lot of tuning, but at least it's running. So we got that one running now. We know everything's functioning correctly, so we'll get all the front end back on, get all the interior back in it, and then it'll go out to tuning. Hopefully we don't need any interior. Oh yeah. Hopefully we don't need any interior on this one other than the retro sound radio. And then we actually did very simple radio in this one ourselves. So we have retro sound 4x6s in dash and in the B pillars. And then retro sound also makes a little amplified sub that we've got wired up and under the seat. So the idea is as stock as possible on the inside, as stock as possible on the outside, but then open the hood and we've got a nice LSA. Obviously wheels, tires, and brakes. These have the big 16-inch bears too. Whenever we get done, we'll do a wrap up, give you all the details. Moving on. We have Chris's favorite job in the entire world. See, we got a smile out of him. See that? He likes when you're sarcastic. This is Alan Elliott's cab, which had a Schlotto rust, So this is new, all the way under to here. This is new, and he shaved it while it was off. And then the floor going all the way back to the back of the cab is new. Inside, the bottom of the A-pillars is new. There's like, the only thing left on this is not new is like A-pillar, B-pillar, and roof. And even the bottom of the B-pillars will be done before it's all said. But as soon as he gets this part done with the braces, it can go back on the truck. Then we'll put the doors on it, line up the rockers, put the new outer rockers on it. So, a lot of rust repair, but it's Chris's favorite job, so we're almost there. Aaron Reed's truck, I don't remember how much of this was done because we haven't done a video in like 3 weeks. Our photographer's been traveling the world or something. LSA's in, valve cover's on, firewall's new, rust repair is done, doors are all back on, so you can see the bottom of the doors inside and out. Rockers were done, steps were done, rear pieces on the cab, rear cab corners were done. Now we've turned attention to the rear. So obviously outer fenders are off so that we can make clearance for the 12-inch wide, or yeah, 12-inch wide. I think these are 12-inch wides, maybe they're only 10s. I think they're just 10s. They're over there. They're just 10s. So 10-inch wide rears. So we got tubbed the bed a little bit, and rather than, we've done like just trailer fenders, we've made our own fenders before, we've done kind of different things, but on this one we grabbed like the fleet side, 58 to 66 inner fenders for the bed, like the standard stock bed tubs. Grabbed those from Chrome Guy and we just cut them down, so it's got a nicer look. It'll look a little bit more stock, if you want to call it that. But then it gives us a nice big opening for the wheel as well. So Laramie's wrapping up those. Then we throw them back on. The bed is framed and mounted. We did a rear piece. Put the jumper ports back here, a little bit smaller pocket than we normally do because we were tight on space being a step side. But all this is welded in. We'll make some new mounts off the factory cross member on the inside. We'll make a new cross member for the front. And then we'll make this opening wood bed floor like you've seen us do so many times. I'm not making any promises yet, but we're trying to start figuring out what we're gonna have for dynos and that type of stuff. What'll be done and running and driving, what'll be visible at our open house, which the flyer's out for our open house. It's actually like my main picture now, and it's saved on Instagram, so go check it out. Hope you can make it. Let's go look at some other things. Some other stuff and things over here. We've got the Bronco is now completely blown apart and at powder coat over at Pack Coast. So we've got the Gen 3 Coyote at Ford 10-speed, 10R80, and the Atlas transfer case. We had some fun with the transfer case and getting the right yoke on there and making it to where our drive shafts would move enough. We do have Curry axles in this one, so the front axle was really easy because we did a high pinion on the front. Kratos' chassis, which I believe you saw in the last video, is at the point where it's now time to start wiring and plumbing it, but we held off until the cab was painted. So the guys actually just got over at iCandy, just got the body and parts and everything painted. So now, as soon as we get done with these little jobs over there, we'll bring this over, plumb and wire this chassis and get it ready to set the body on it, and then we can knock that thing out. Which, like, we could do like the thumbnail is, it's alive! Because if you watch our videos and you're here and you pay attention to Instagram, this thing was plumbed, wired, filled with fluids, and ready to get started. And we noticed coolant coming out between the block and the heads. So, you know, what do you think? It's supposed to be a brand new engine. Wrong head gasket, maybe, I don't know. So we pulled the head off. We're just gonna fix it in here. And the heads were pitted, the block was pitted. It was gross, nasty. Pistons were black, which they probably should be, but then no cross hatching on the cylinder walls. It was just, you could tell it was a 1,000,000-mile motor that somebody had thrown a dog shit cam in and sold it to Marlin, and hoping he would never find out, but we found out. So we pulled the engine, sent it off to the machine shop same day. They did like a 2-week turnaround for us on the machine work. So this is a 6-liter, was in the beginning, so still 6-liter, but bored 30 over. Crank was good, polished it up. I don't even think we had to grind it. Polished it up, took 50 thousandths off the block, took 50 thousandths off the heads, complete valve job, put in a cam that Rick over at J&R spec'd out for us. We can give you those specs on the full breakdown. What else? Springs, push rods, upgraded the rockers with the trunnion upgrade, bearings, and all that fun stuff. And then we slapped it all back in here after Frank painted it, and now she's alive again. Cool thing about Gen 3 is you can do this. You don't have to go inside and press the pedal. So we've got a ton of wiring in this truck. As you can see, we've got Dakota controller, we've got relays for windows, we've got a push to start, we've got a bunch of stuff, and I wired this all to individual buttons. And then we got little stickers on them too, so like headlights, which when you turn the headlights on, the power window buttons come on. So we got power windows. Like even the wipers are on this switch. So rather than having like a knob under the dash or anything, we've got it wired here. We've got high beams. So like the high beams only work if the headlights are on. So just thinking of cool little things like that. These are lights for, we've got like lights that are going underglow in the whole thing, and then we've got lights just for the bed. So, and then this is the Dakota digital controller for the linear actuators that lift the bed up and down. So these seats are really cool. These are actually glide frames, and then Dominic D-Bomb, bad man himself, foamed these seats and wrapped them in Hides leather. So this is something that we ordered from Hides. It's real thick leather, but they were able to CNC this pattern. It's a pattern that they offer, and so it's perforated and then stitched too. So the perforations don't just go through everything, they only go in the middle triangle or diamonds. This is the same pattern, and then Dominic wrapped all this stuff too. And then we didn't have a good solution for a dome light in this, so we actually took an LED that I just found on Amazon and wired that up. So it's kind of blacked out and goes away, and you turn it on and it's pretty darn bright still through the tinted black paint. Marlin's is like one of our favorites around here right now. When this thing's not covered in shop dust, this paint is a damn mirror. So it's hard to beat black paint. It's just a bitch to keep clean. So we're not gonna bother trying to keep it clean until it leaves. But now that the thing's running, it was a total nightmare, but we like nightmares sometimes because they're very rewarding. So that thing's done for now. Milan's truck, almost done with the remodel. I talked to him the other day and he's like, you gotta quit giving me shit on your videos. So screw you, Mike. Let's finish your truck. Moonbeam, Mr. Bailout on golf. I'll give you shit about bailing on golf too. Anyway, love you, Mike. Hopefully we're back on that in the next month or two. Then we got Brandon Wallen's truck. We're good, everything's good here. We're just in a holding pattern to get it over to this side of the shop so we can get working on it. LS3, 4L60, Rev B airbag chassis. Obviously this truck was already done once before, so we're just gonna do everything to make it to where it's, you know, a little bit better than it was before. New wheels, new brakes, new chassis, new engine, new trans, new wiring, new plumbing. But looks-wise, the truck is killer. So we're gonna keep the looks. What else we got for you? Oh, look, this is a good view. All right, so we got Brandon White's here on the lift now. This is another one that we did a little while ago. We got some running issues with this truck, weird ones. We didn't build the engine, we didn't buy the engine. So we're trying to chase down a couple things, but then we did some other stuff, like we shaved the big Dumbo mirrors and put the nice sleeker sport mirrors on it for them. Checking out everything that we did underneath. And yeah, this one's all Ride-Tech suspension. It's got a Texas Speed, like 408, big old supercharger. This thing screams, but it's a little finicky, so we're trying to figure out the finickiness. We did all the exhaust. We've got cutouts. We got a brake button so you can lock up the front brakes and do big gnarly burnouts. So just trying to figure out some stuff on this and then make sure everything else looks good and get her on its way. Let's go check out one more truck outside, maybe two. Give you a little bonus update. This is Roman's truck. We did this truck a few months ago, almost a year ago maybe, but he brought it back so Eye Candy can do the paint job on it. So there's your little sneak peek at Roman's. We'll cover that more after it's painted. But this just got dropped off. This is Jet Tila's. It was like a everyday driver for him, but so it's a little rough around the corners. We got a little rust, but we're not doing anything with the rust. So all this is staying as it is, but he had a shop out in California, I don't remember the name, but they put an engine and a transmission in it for him, and that's all they were doing. So he got a 383 stroker, so small block Chevy, and then I believe it's a 4L60 transmission, maybe a 704. We got to get into it and find out. Haven't had a chance to really look over the parts list yet. But this truck is kind of like the everyman's truck, easy to afford, and still looks cool. So this is going to SEMA with retro sound. So we're going to rewire the whole truck, Dakota digital gauges, Resto Mod RC, obviously a retro sound radio and some retro sound speakers, and then we're going to plumb and wire the engine and get this thing running. And this thing will be at SEMA this year. And it's August almost, but not a big job. You can see the exhaust is already done. Gas tank's already in it. I believe some of that plumbing's already done. So we just got to do some of the easier stuff to it and get her down the road. But right now, I think they're pulling out Manny's truck. So we're gonna bring Manny's truck over and put it where Marlon's truck is, and we're gonna give Marlon's truck over to them. All right, come on in. Now that we pulled Manny's in, we'll talk about this one real quick. Especially since Frank left it so clean for us. All right, Manny's truck. This is another one that's going to SEMA for us. It looks like Frank almost did everything he was supposed to, but never really happened. So the cowl's not on it, and wipers aren't in it, but whatever, we can take care of some of that stuff. They did put all the trim on it, and all the underhood is together, almost. We're still missing the panels up here, but that is an LS7 engine, and we put a Whipple supercharger on it with a nice big old wheel to keep the boost down. And obviously everything's been painted and polished, which we need to touch up some polishing because, again, body shop stuff. And then we'll wait for the bed to be buffed so we can put the bed on, and then this can go over to interior as well. But this thing will be in the Precision Replacement Products booth at SEMA. And it is a bad mofo right here. This thing has so much in paint work. Cool little touches like these Ring Brother mirrors. And we put a little bend on their mount. So normally those are just straight. We put a little bend on it to get better vision. Ring Brothers door handles, which are a little cooler than some of the other ones out there. And I get that some of the other ones out there are supposed to look more like a factory handle, but this is nice and flush. But Manny is the guy that wanted everything on this truck. So emblems, mirrors, handles, key lock, trim, Chevrolet letters, the trim around the tailgate. He wanted everything trimmed out. But we tried to go like the little extra steps. Like if you look around the back where it would normally disappear into the bed, we had Ron come and pinstripe that. And the pinstripe even runs behind the trim. It is a 67, so it is a true 67, small back window. Lots of cool little stuff on this. Built specialty wheels, 2212s in the rear. This is super filthy right now because it just left body shop and that's how they do it. But we built a cover for the gas tank, put our logo on that, but that cleans up all of your wiring and your plumbing and everything on top of the tank. GSI airbag chassis, it's AccuAir Indo VT tank, and we have the 2 Vire compressors with the AccuAir controller in the middle. Some stuff to wrap up on this one, and then this one can go to interior soon as well. All right, we already did the outro, so edit back to that. That's a wrap for today. I'm gonna go back in this weird door that we started with. If Milan would get his crap out of here and onto the truck, maybe it'd be cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. New hats on the website. Restocking the 3D puff hats here in a week or so. But these, am I wearing one? Yeah, see, patch hats. These are more affordable than some of our other hats. So go grab those. People have been asking about shirts. So if you really want a shirt with this on it, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll make them. Other than that, next big thing for us is SEMA. Manny's truck, Bronco, and then Jet Tila's truck. So Manny's truck's not in this video. We'll show you. We'll see you next month on these videos. If you are lame and don't subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell, then you won't see us again until SEMA if you did watch this one. But if you're not a lame, go do that stuff. I gotta get back to work. See you.